Imagine a king so obsessed with one god that he erased every other god from Egypt. A king who shut down temples that had stood for thousands of years. A king who forced an entire nation to worship a single sun disk, Aten. And because of that decision, Egypt nearly collapsed. This is the story of Akhenaten, the most controversial man to ever wear the crown of the pharaohs. Before Akhenaten, Egypt was stable, prosperous, religiously complex, thousands of gods, millions of followers. The temples of Amun dominated everything: money, politics, power, even the pharaoh himself. Egypt was a holy machine, and every piece of it depended on the gods. Then the unthinkable happened. A prince with radical ideas took the throne. Akhenaten wasn't like the kings before him. He wasn't focused on building armies. He wasn't focused on expanding borders. He wasn't even focused on Egypt's traditions. He was focused on the sun, but not the sun as a symbol, the sun as the only god that mattered. Aten, the radiant disk. To him, Aten wasn't a god, Aten was the god. And no one in Egypt agreed with him. One morning, Akhenaten did something no pharaoh had ever done. He shut down the temples of the other gods. No worship, no offerings, no priests. The Amun priesthood lost everything: their power, their wealth, even their influence over the crown. The entire nation froze in fear. This wasn't just a religious shift. It was a direct attack on the foundation of Egyptian life. Imagine being Egyptian at that time. For generations, your family worshipped dozens of gods. Suddenly, the king tells you they no longer exist. Only Aten matters. People panicked. Farmers refused rituals. Priests hid sacred statues. Scribes erased names to protect them from destruction. Egypt was spiritually breaking. Akhenaten wanted a fresh start, so he built a new capital in the desert, Akhenaten, modern Amarna, a city carved from nothing, dedicated entirely to Aten. No temples to other gods, no shrines to ancestors, just the sun shining overhead every hour of the day. He moved the entire royal court there. The old Egypt was dead. Only Aten's Egypt remained. Beside Akhenaten stood Nefertiti, one of the most powerful queens in history. She wasn't just a wife. She was a co-ruler, a high priestess of Aten. Together they enforced this new religion with absolute power. If Akhenaten was the mind of Aten, Nefertiti was the face of it. But even she couldn't stop what was coming. With the temples closed, Egypt lost the system that distributed food. Crops failed. Trade collapsed. Foreign allies lost trust. Egypt, once unstoppable, became vulnerable. The king didn't notice. He cared only about building sun temples and writing hymns to Aten. To the people, he was no longer a pharaoh. He was a fanatic. While Akhenaten worshipped Aten, Egypt's enemies attacked. The Hittites expanded eastward. Rebellions exploded in foreign territories. Egypt's influence was fading fast. Generals begged Akhenaten to act. He refused. Everything was about Aten. Egypt, for the first time in centuries, was losing power. Out of nowhere, Nefertiti vanished from the records. Was she killed? Did she oppose Akhenaten? Did she take over as a co-pharaoh under a new name? History is silent. Her disappearance remains one of the greatest mysteries of ancient Egypt. The once brilliant city of Akhenaten fell into chaos, starvation, disease, abandoned temples. Akhenaten himself grew weaker, paranoid, isolated. He wrote hymns to Aten while the country he ruled drifted toward collapse. Then he died, suddenly, quietly, and Egypt wasted no time erasing him. After Akhenaten's death, his son, the boy king Tutankhaten, reversed everything. Aten was abandoned. The old gods returned. The temples reopened. And the new king changed his name to Tutankhamun, living image of Amun. The priests took revenge. They destroyed Akhenaten's statues, smashed his temples, erased his name from king lists, wiped him from history. Egypt pretended he never existed. The capital Akhenaten was abandoned, left to scorch under the desert sun. Homes empty, streets silent, temples unfinished. To this day, Amarna feels like a crying scene, a frozen moment where Egypt's greatest religious rebellion collapsed. Akhenaten wanted to reshape the world. He believed in one God above all. He thought he could erase thousands of years of tradition with pure devotion. But his dream nearly destroyed a civilization. Was he a visionary far ahead of his time, or a ruler who lost touch with reality? One thing is certain. No pharaoh ever changed Egypt as violently as Akhenaten, and no pharaoh was ever erased so completely. Akhenaten believed he could reinvent a civilization with pure devotion. But the truth is simple. A kingdom can survive war. It can survive famine. It can survive weak leaders. But it cannot survive a leader who disconnects from his people. And that's why Akhenaten's story echoes today, not because he worshipped one god, but because he tried to erase the identity of an entire nation overnight. His dream died with him. His city became a graveyard of sunlight and silence. His name was buried under centuries of dust. Yet even now, as archaeologists uncover pieces of Akhenaten, we still ask the same question. Was he a visionary far ahead of his time, or a ruler who lost himself in the light of his own obsession? History doesn't give answers. It only leaves warnings. So if you want to follow every twist, every lost empire, every ancient secret, hit subscribe. Turn on all notifications. I'm dropping a new story every day, and each one will pull you deeper into the world of forgotten legends. This is Serene Tales, where history comes alive. See you in the next episode.